Good evening, Doc here for the ReadySetCrypto OMNIA trade of the day for Wednesday, September 9th, 2020. Today, what we're seeing is pretty much across the board, a little bit of positive price action, but still stuck in this bear flag pattern that I'm seeing really across the board. Now, what I want to make sure is that I'm not getting a sense of recency bias from this. If we go back to the same thing back here in the March timeframe, kind of the same deal, right? So I'm looking at Ethereum right now. This is a bear flag. And what happened was it just kept on going. It just kept on going and eventually broke out to the upside, which is very unusual. Usually patterns like this, rising patterns break to the downside. Never did. So here we go. We're in the same kind of rising pattern. Are we going to end up just having this sort of upside grind similar to the spring? Or is this going to break to the downside and form that halfway house that most flags do? So in today's video, what we want to do is we want to get into this pattern and see if we can determine which way it's going to go based on how we frame it. To do that, rule number 2 is that reversals happen from the inside out and they propagate higher. So we are looking at a fairly defined trend here, at least with Ethereum. We can kind of map out the lower end of the bear flag in this manner. So if we drop down through 330, if we pop a lower high, drop down through 330, 325 or so, then more than likely we're going to be breaking to the downside and it may come on pretty big volume. However, you can see here, if we start to break above 360, this is going to form a reversal. This is going to be a reversal to the upside, higher highs and higher lows at this 5-hour chart. And it's not going to be very obvious at the daily chart. Now, what we might also see is that this just goes up to a lower high and then it rolls over again. We have to be cognizant of what's happening with the price. We've gone from a higher high to a lower low. That does increase the probability that the next rally bounce up will go to a lower high and then roll over again like this. So that's a change in polarity. But again, as we proved, and there's your lower high, lower low kind of thing, but as we proved, that didn't make any difference in the spring. So we're just going by price action rules. That's the most accurate way that you can read any market. Forget about the studies, forget about the oscillators and the MACDs and everything like that. None of those really helped back here. And in fact, to some degree, chart patterns didn't help us back there either. So the best thing that we can do is just simply go to price action and read this. So that's Ethereum. We can do the same thing in Bitcoin. If we go down to the 5-hour time frame, you can see this one's a little flatter than the Ethereum one. Ethereum is more of your traditional bear flag rising pattern. This one is quite simple for Bitcoin, is if we break above 10,000, about 480 or so, 10,480, that's going to be the first high. A more conservative way to look at this is wait until it gets above 10,650 or so, and that will be a true reversal. Now, is that going to just pop up here to a lower high as well and then roll over again? Don't know. We can't tell. We're just going to take this one step at a time. Something else that you can do on Bitcoin is use this trend line to help your accuracy with the setups. Again, rule number 3 is that descending patterns break to the upside. We have a descending pattern here, a break above, like I said, 465 or so, 470. And this one could be good to go for the next swing up. Now, this might be just a trade or this might be the beginning of the next swing up. We don't really know. Again, we're in that big monthly correction pattern that we've been in for the last 2.5 years. It's going to take some mojo to break out of that. So no trade today per se, but let's watch the overall markets and see when we can get a foot into the next trend. Thanks for listening. We'll see you tomorrow.